There's something about the crackle of a wood stove in a small cabin that hits differently. It's the sound of self-reliance, of comfort earned, of warmth that comes not from flipping a switch, but from fire you built yourself. In a tiny cabin, especially one off-grid, your heating setup isn't just important, it's everything. And installing a wood stove can be the difference between thriving in the cold or barely surviving it. But here's the catch. Installing a wood stove in a small space isn't as simple as dropping it in the corner and lighting a match. If it's too big, you'll roast. Too small, and you'll freeze. Done wrong, and it could become a fire hazard or carbon monoxide nightmare. Done right though, it'll turn your tiny cabin into a warm, efficient, and inviting sanctuary no matter how deep winter digs in. In today's episode, we're breaking down how to install a wood stove in a tiny cabin, safely, effectively, and without overwhelming your limited square footage. From picking the right stove to choosing stove pipe routes, clearances, ventilation, and smart tricks to make your system efficient, we're covering it all. So if you're ready to warm your bones, save on firewood, and avoid rookie mistakes, let's jump right into it. Step 1. Choosing the right stove for a tiny space. Let's start with the most important decision, picking the stove itself. In a small cabin, size truly matters. Too much stove and you'll end up opening windows in the middle of a blizzard. Too little and you'll be huddled in blankets watching your breath fog up the air. Look for a stove rated between 4,000 and 20,000 BTU list depending on your square footage and insulation. For a cabin under 200 square feet, ultra-compact models like the Cubic Mini Grizzly or the Dwarf Stove 4K are great choices. They're designed for boats, vans, and tiny homes, meaning they pack serious heat in a small footprint. Cast iron stoves are durable and retain heat longer. Steel models heat up faster. Soapstone stoves are premium but radiate heat slowly for hours after the fire dies. Also, check that the stove has a controllable damper and air intake. This gives you fine control over the burn rate and temperature, which is critical in a confined space. Let's be honest, would you rather wake up sweating in January because your stove's an oven or shivering because it burns out in 2 hours? Choosing the right stove isn't just a heating decision, it's a comfort decision. Step 2. Pick the best location inside the cabin. Space is tight, but safety still comes first. Your stove needs a spot where it can be safely installed with proper clearance from all combustibles: walls, floors, furniture, and curtains. Start by choosing a corner or wall where you can have at least 18 inches clearance on all sides. That's the general rule for most stoves, though some models with heat shields can reduce that to 6 to 9 inches. If your cabin has an open layout, place the stove centrally. That allows for even heat distribution. Just make sure the flue pipe can exit through the roof or wall without hitting rafters or framing. Bonus tip: avoid installing the stove near your sleeping area if it burns super hot. Nothing ruins sleep like waking up to a sauna. Step 3. Install a proper hearth. Next, your stove needs to sit on a non-combustible surface, aka a hearth. This protects your floor from heat and stray embers. You can build one using cement board over plywood with tile or stone, a pre-made hearth pad, sold for RV and tiny house stoves, reclaimed bricks or fire-rated pavers. Your hearth should extend at least 18 inches in front of the stove and 8 to 12 inches on all other sides. Even small stoves get incredibly hot underneath. Skipping this step is asking for disaster. Old-timer trick: add a metal ashtray below the hearth to catch falling coals. It makes cleanup easier and adds a layer of safety. You've got your stove and you found your spot. But here's where a lot of first-timers blow it: the stovepipe. Install it wrong, and you got a ticking time bomb. Let's do it right. Step 4. Plan and install your stovepipe flue. The flue is how smoke exits your cabin, and how fresh air feeds your fire. A poorly designed flue causes smoke backdrafts, creosote buildup, and wasted heat. For small cabins, you'll want to keep the flue path as straight and vertical as possible. Use a single wall pipe inside the cabin, unless your stove requires double wall, and switch to insulated double wall or triple wall pipe once you pass through the wall or ceiling. Go straight up through the roof if possible. That gives the best draft and fewer creosote issues. Wall exits can work, but require an elbow and more maintenance. Seal all connections with stove cement or high-temp silicone. Use a ceiling support box or wall thimble where the pipe passes through framing, and always maintain at least 2 inches of clearance between the pipe and any wood. The chimney cap should sit at least 3 feet above the roof and 2 feet higher than anything within a 10-foot radius. This prevents downdrafts and meets most code requirements, even if you're off-grid. Step 5. Protect the walls and ceilings. Even if your stove is small, the heat it throws off is no joke. Install fire-resistant wall shields behind and beside the stove. These can be made from cement board, corrugated metal, or tile-back panels. Leave a 1-inch air gap between the shield and the wall for airflow. It reduces heat transfer and improves safety. Ceiling protection is a must too. Use a stovepipe shield and fire stop spacer wherever the flue passes through the ceiling. Pro tip: a vertical heat shield hanging behind the stove can reflect warmth back into the room and reduce heat loss through the wall. It's a small detail that makes a big difference. Step 6. Add ventilation and air supply. Here's the part a lot of people miss. Your stove needs fresh air to burn efficiently. In tiny cabins, the airtight space can cause your fire to struggle or pull smoke back into the room. Install a fresh air intake, ideally through the floor or wall, close to the stove. Some stoves come with a direct air kit. Use it if available. Alternatively, crack a window slightly when running the stove. It's not the most elegant solution, but it helps balance pressure and keeps the fire lively. Also, install a carbon monoxide detector and smoke alarm, no exceptions. In small spaces, a sealed leak can turn deadly fast. These alarms are cheap insurance against tragedy. Step 7. Burn the right wood and burn it right. With the stove in place, it's time to feed it. But not all firewood is created equal. Use seasoned hardwood like oak, maple, ash, or birch. It burns hotter, longer, and with less creosote buildup. Softwoods like pine can be used, but only when fully dry, and expect more ash in cleaning. Never burn wet wood, trash, or pressure-treated lumber. Wet wood smokes, wastes heat, and clogs your flue with creosote fast. Start with kindling and build up to larger logs. Learn your stove's personality, how it breathes, how fast it burns, and what it likes best. A well-managed fire burns hot, clean, and keeps your cabin toasty without the need to constantly feed it. Let's light it up. Picture this outside it's 10 below, the snow swirling past your windows, and your cabin feels like a warm hug. That's the beauty of a properly installed wood stove. It's more than heat. It's a sense of control, of independence, of thriving when most people would panic. Installing a wood stove in a tiny cabin is a rite of passage for anyone serious about off-grid living. It demands care, patience, and respect for fire. But once you've got it dialed in, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. So whether you're building from scratch or upgrading a cabin that's seen better days, take the time to get your stove set up right. Choose the right unit, install with care, ventilate properly, and burn smart. Your future winter self will thank you, with warm feet and a fire blow smile. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and drop your questions or setup details in the comments. Let us know what stove you're using and how it's working out in your space. Until next time, stay warm, stay wild, and keep building your off-grid dream one flame at a time.